Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. I'm Josh T, and alongside me is Jackson Lambros as well. Omi's in the background watching along as well, and we are getting ready, and I believe engines have been fired or are about to be fired as well. Awesome. And Jackson, going into this Grand Prix back at Barber Motorsports Park. Warning: if you don't like spiders, don't go here.
Yeah. I every time we go to this track, I'm so convinced that this is one of the most underrated tracks in the world. Beautiful scenery, fantastic facility, one of the biggest motorcycle collections on the planet from George Barber, who's just turned this place into a playground of his own with fantastic elevation changes, some really, really tricky corners, and I just feel like this is a circuit that never fails to disappoint.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're questioning why I've got two headsets, it's because I'm on two different streams at once. I'm controlling the INDYCAR stream and I'm controlling the British Touring Car and talking in both as well. So I'm all over the place as well, of course, because Josh Burt is trackside, and I can tell you how many times I've called Josh today. 17.
Beautiful.
So, yeah. That is indeed a lot of times that we've called each other between with all of the delays as well. But we've seen a lot of cars go off, and the most notable one, I think, is, I believe it was practice one when Joseph Newgarden went off and we had that phantom red flag, I think we can call it. And I looked in the replies of Twitter, and let's just say, let's not go there. All I saw was, let's just say, all I saw was the same three letters or same three words, push to pass.
Man of the week for sure, Joseph Newgarden, and that was not even his only incident. Had a big save during qualifying. I think you guys saw yesterday.
Yeah, that was IndyCar Radio, because I was at Caravan Bangers at Ringwood, where it was a caravan. It was a car inside of a caravan, with a van inside of that caravan on its side.
Interesting.
I will send you the photo of it, Jackson, in comments chat, so you know what I'm talking about. Hold on.
Gotcha. Singer-songwriter Riley Green given the command here as he is sitting behind the Indy 2-seater. I believe that's Davey Hamilton driving that, as engines are now fired in Birmingham.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. And we've had the drama here at Barber, and we've also had some good races as well, haven't we, Jackson?
Oh, 100%. Whether it's the super close finish in 16 between Graham Rahal and Simon Pagenaud, who picked up that win on the win to what would be his championship. Alex Palou winning here on debut, drag race finish in 2018 in the rain with Scott Dixon and Sebastian Bourdais with what I believe would be his final IndyCar win. And you can correct me if I'm wrong there. Takuma Sato in 21. Just, again, this is a place that never finds a way to disappoint.
Yeah, absolutely, and I have done it in comments chat if you want to have a look, Jackson. It was a lot of fun last night while Josh was on his way to Donington Park, which is where he is.
Nobody can see it, but I would just describe it as like a mechanical turducken. That's the best way I could describe it.
Yeah.
Like a Russian stacking doll of just different vehicles.
I mean, Jackson, if you waffle for a couple of minutes, I can actually get it up on stream.
Yeah, well, while you're doing that, how about I go through our starting grid here?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead as they roll off.
From the back of the field, it is going to be in 27th, Rinus VK had a fast race car, had technical issues. Pietro Fittipaldi has had 3 separate seasons in IndyCar. This is the 3rd race of his first full season. Stingray Robin, 25th. Theo Pourchaire, your reigning Formula 2 champion, had a fantastic debut at Long Beach. He's struggling here so far at Barber. We'll see where he can go from 24th. He's alongside Kiffin Simpson, who had a big high-flying moment during qualifying yesterday. Jack Harvey on temporary duty here in the 22nd. He's with the Dale Coyne 18. He's alongside the Rick Ware Dale Coyne 51. That's Luca Giotto, another F2 ace who is on debut this weekend at Barber. Augustine Canapino in 20th. He's alongside Linus Lundqvist, Marcus Ericsson in 18th, Ferrucci in 17th. Alexander Rossi really hoping for something better here for his number 7 Arrow McLaren machine. He starts 16th alongside another man really looking for better results. That's Colton Herta in the 26th Andretti Global machine. Christian Rasmussen in 20th alongside Scott Dixon in 13th. He's far back, but never count that man out from winning, especially after his 57th race victory at Long Beach last weekend. After that, it's Tom Blomqvist with a solid top 10 result there, or excuse me, top 12 result for his Meyer-Shank racing car. Grosjean in 11th. Pillow gets the number 10 car in 10th. Kyle Kirkwood in 9th. Your man of the week, Joseph Newgarden, starts 2nd. Graham Rahal, solid result for him. The number 15 car is starting P7. Marcus Armstrong gets that new Root Insurance colors up into 6th alongside Felix Rosenquist. Award on the outside of row 2 alongside Christian Lundgaard, fastest of the Rahal cars. Once again, Will Power outside of the front row after Long Beach. And on the inside, another man caught with his hands in the air last week. Scott McLaughlin gets the Good Ranchers meat wagon up to pole position. Josh?
Yeah, absolutely. And if I press this button, that's what we were talking about. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, wasn't it, Jackson?
Little bit.
So,
but that's Barber, baby.
Yeah, that's what I was doing yesterday night as well. But cars are rolling. Let's move that over there so I can actually see the TV pictures. And TV pics for me, on an iPhone 8 for the first part of this. So that will definitely be fun as well. But cars are rolling. And caution lap 1, Jackson? Or not?
I'm looking right now. Oh, I mean, you've got some crazy turn 1s. I think the fact that we didn't have one at Long Beach is going to show you the kind of respect we've had here. This isn't a Portland turn 1 kind of scenario. But again, you've got so many places where you can be brave here at the end of the back straightaway into the chicane. And I think there's just so much elevation change on relatively cold tires that it's not impossible. But I would say, I'm going to say probably not.
All right, and yeah, I mean, we saw in the USF one of those races what we had there, and that was definitely a scary accident.
And that's not the only time that's happened here at Barber, where you just it's amazing because it feels like the only time that these kind of lose it in the middle of the track incidents happen, it's right on the crest of a hill where you can't see it. But I think if you ask any driver, they wouldn't have this track be any other way. And regarding elevation change, it probably only comes second to maybe Road America or, dare I say, Laguna Seca.
Yeah. It is very hard seeing the British touring cars on a 42-inch screen right in front of me and not talking about it and having it on this tiny iPhone 8. But it's Scott McLaughlin, of course, with Will Power on row 1, as you said. Current tyre is Scott McLaughlin's black. Will Power is black. Reds for Lundgaard and O'Ward. Blacks for Rose and Christian Armstrong. Red for Rahal. Black for Newgarden and Kirkwood. Palou and Groveson are red tyres.
Starting on my screen here.
Blomqvist are black, and as you called it, we are getting ready for the start of this race then. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. We are going 2 by 2, getting ready for the start of this race.
Yeah, the lag is real.
Yeah.
And
I think
you might have already been proven right here. As on my side, we've already got cars spreading out big time. Still no yellow thrown yet, though, although Josh T, I think you're gonna maybe see a reason to. couple of movements down the back, but this 3 of Scott McLaughlin's moved big time as Pato Award is already trying to find a way around Christian Lundgaard for third. Everyone's already started to kind of get single file here. Rasmussen tries to make something happen here as he works his way through the second sector. Also, the green Chip Ganassi car of Marcus Armstrong tries to make something happen. That's Palou.
Yeah, and they're 4 wide going into turn 5 and turn 6. I'm trying to fast forward, but I'm as live as I can get it due to the incredible delay of Sky Go, and I'm a lap behind the driver tracker, so this should...
You're all good. Alex Rossi makes a move here on Tom Blomqvist, who appears to fall back. Same for Kyle Kirkwood, who loses that spot to Christian Rasmussen on a move around the outside. Big checkup for Colton Herta. He'll give that position up to, that looks like Marcus Ericsson, as it is, oh my gosh, contact early between Colton Herta and Santino Ferrucci. The guys getting their elbows out really early here as Colton Herta. And that looks like the 77 of Canapino, and we've got trouble already. Patricio Award already off as he manages to keep the car running. He is right alongside the wall going back up the hill, and I'm not sure where he's rejoined here, Josh. He's back in 25th now.
Yeah, that was big drama there. Oh, what?
As I'm struggling to see, let's look at the start again here, as it looked like we had an almost 4-wide move into turn 1 here. Jack Harvey.
Am I talking? Okay, I am talking into the right mic.
In that, it looks like...
Yeah, in the gravel.
Looked like VK might have gotten into the back of Harvey and Rob, and that was a sort of domino effect for all of them there going through turn 1. On board from Colton Herta, who gets a side pod and a little bit of contact there with Santino Ferrucci. Canapino looks like is making the best of that situation and goes around. Here's Award, who's going to just go so late on the brakes, tries to move to the outside, and looks like he gets it in the slippery part on the curbs there and just gets the tail end around.
Yeah, just getting a replay of the start of the contact at the back. I believe that was before of Kevin Simpson getting involved, as well as maybe the 8 of Linus Lundqvist, was that getting involved, and was Colton Herta tapped?
It was
yes,
one of the
he was.
for sure. I'm not sure
and
who it was specifically.
Side damage for the 14 of Santino Ferrucci from Colton Herta.
I'm not sure if it looks like total side damage. I'm sure there's something there, but I'm not sure if it's totally pace determined. Pato Award then back on track. He's 23rd now after that incident. Was trying to get around, I believe it had to have been Christian Lundgaard actually. Looks like he just got late on the brakes, tried taking it to the outside, and with the curbing in the grass there, just got the tail end around.
Yeah,
Managed
absolutely.
to keep the car running though.
Just
and still, so plenty of incidents here in lap 1, Josh T.
No caution though.
No yellow.
Which we were able to get through on without a caution there. And on board with Pato Ward as he goes round the circuit and down.
A lot of work ahead of him. Let's look back over here, though. That is, I want to say Scott Dixon and Alex Palou here trying to go at it. Or excuse me, Graham Rahal, Alex Palou.
Yeah, Rahal and Palou 3 attempts behind, and we can see a couple of battles brewing further back as well.
I'm struggling to really see who's affected by that. Big mover already, though. Rinus VK started last. He's now running 18th behind Ferrucci. Stingray Rob now in last. Same with Jack Harvey and Lucas Giotto. I'm not sure if any of them... No one has gone to pit lane quite yet here, as we might have some action on track. This is the Meyer Shank machine of Felix Rosenquist trying to fend off Marcus Armstrong. Here's a replay again of that Herta Ferrucci incident. Gets ran super wide. Oh, Josh, I think this is a later incident. Ferrucci telling him how he's really feeling as he manages to really run Herta wide off track there. Herta, of course, has been kind of a diva, we'll say. Diva. He's had zero hesitation in telling people how he really feels, whether it's about the Newgarden incident, both at Long Beach and at St. Petersburg, for cheating. And that is a penalty for Rinus VK, who's worked his way up into 18th now. And I can only imagine that's got to be for being the cause of that turn 1 incident, Josh.
Yeah, and there's the incident which saw a little bit of side pod damage for Santino Ferrucci with Colton Herter. Lap 5 of 90 then.
Oh, trouble!
And
not sure the
that's
turn
the
and our
30
first caution of the day.
At the going up to the final couple of corners of the circuit. The number 30
Pietro
in
Fittipaldi.
trouble of Fittipaldi, and this caution gives a little bit of a break in the running.
Yes, oh my gosh. And oh my gosh, perfect timing though for Rinus VK, who's going to be able to still serve that penalty, mind you, but will be able to rejoin the field and start from the back of the pack all over again here. Get a replay of what happened here. Oh boy. Pato Award looks like he got into the back of that number 30 My Jack machine and just right hooked him straight into the wall. So my real question then is that a penalty for Award for causing that? I'm not sure, because that looked like a racing incident. And it's hard to really place blame there, but we'll see. So your new running order, McLaughlin still in front, Power second, Canapino third, Rosenquist up in fourth now, Armstrong fifth, Pelot sixth, Rahal seventh, Dixon eighth, Newgarden ninth, Grosjean in the top 10, Ericsson 11th, rookie Rasmussen up into 12th. He's really hoping for a top 10 after that nightmare weekend at Long Beach. Kyle Kirkwood up into 13th, Tom Blomqvist 14th, Canapino 15th, Rossi 16th, excuse me, Ferrucci in 17th, Herta with a big drop back, he's in 18th, Award in 19th, that could change real quick. And then it's your two rookies for Ganassi and Linus Lundqvist and Kiffin Simpson in 20th and 21st.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm just seeing a replay of the crash a couple of seconds ago that just got spun around and went into the back of went into the wall backwards as well.
Penalty or racing incident, Josh?
I only saw the end of it.
Oh.
Hopefully we'll get another replay.
Man, already a nightmare weekend, not just for Pietro Fittipaldi, but for Pato Award, who had such a fantastic opportunity to build on this championship lead, to build on this win at St. Petersburg he was just handed. Getting word here that the 30 My Jack car of Pietro Fittipaldi has been refired, and he is continuing, albeit 2 laps down now.
Yep, 2 laps down is a lot, and they are just doing some repairs to the barriers and getting all the safety trucks back into position, and we should be good to go once more.
In the meantime, pit row open. We've got some early takers. Ferrucci, Award, Lundqvist, Simpson, Pourchaire, Harvey, Giotto, and VK all into the pits. That'll promote Herta up into 17th, Rob up into 18th, as there is still plenty of trucks out on track trying to repair and deal with the trail of chaos that this 30 car has left.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fast part of the circuit where Lundgaard went off, going up up towards the final couple of corners, where the pit lane entry is, of course, at the top before they go back round to the start line. And
ooh, bit of a stall there for Award. Nothing crazy. He gets it rolling again. He'll still be in front of this pit stop pack.
Yep. So not too damaging there for Pato O'Ward.
Let's see this incident again here. Looks like this is going into the hairpin. Oh, excuse me. It's the chicane. And oh, man. Yeah. Josh, you're going to get this in a second here, but
the delay is wild.
Award gets over the chicane, and it just upsets his car just a smidge here. And he gets sent just tail end straight into the barrier. That's kind of the best way to have an incident, but unfortunately, that might be race over. They managed to get that car back into the pits, but looks like he's now 3 laps down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're putting him on the wrecker.
Yeah, and just seeing that incident between Patrick Ward and Lungard, and Fittipaldi once more. That was just getting on the curb a little bit too much, and just Fittipaldi getting spun around and drift across the grass and hand up for Fittipaldi. But
understandably,
yeah, that could have been avoided.
If I'm race control, what's our verdict there, right?
It's time for sim racing stewards, but not sim racing stewards, real life. Racing stewards with Jackson Lambros and Josh T standing in for Jimmy Broadbent this weekend.
As Josh is going to scramble to hear. Total hats off to Josh Turner, by the way, who is currently juggling between.
There's a safety car and touring cars, by the way.
Gotcha.
That's
totally juggling with Donington and Barber right now.
That works. Let me
the new double stack.
There we go. That works. As we come back up to the comms box, still on the yellow, and nothing to say we're going green this time. I don't think we're going green this time.
I'll tell you what, with all things considered, Rosenquist, we talked about this a lot last week, but Felix Rosenquist, not a great pull to win ratio. And he is a guy that obviously struggled big time at Long Beach, puts that a lot on brake issues, and managed to still get a top 10 out of that. So I would 100% keep an eye on that 60 Meyer Shank machine and see if he can potentially work his way up here from 4th.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are having at least one more lap under caution.
So Fittipaldi, I would imagine, is out at this point. Back of the field now, still to rough hand, Luca Giotto, who of course came up from the junior FIA Formula categories. I was going to ask Josh T, because I am not as knowledgeable about Luca Giotto as I feel like I should be. And I feel like I'm missing out, and if there's anything I should know about the young Italian making his IndyCar debut this weekend at Barber.
Yeah, absolutely. Luca Giotto, of course. And 2024 European Le Mans Series. He is scheduled to run this year, but he's over here in the States as well. He started in 2008 with karting, and he has he has driven a Formula 1 car, Jackson, in the in the 2017 post-Hungarian Grand Prix test for Williams, and he recently drove a Formula E car in the 2023 Berlin rookie test for Nissan.
Gotcha. I want to say that was when DiResta also filled in there at Force India. Getting ready to go back to green here. Lights off on the safety car. Scott McLaughlin going to lead this field back to green. A reminder of your top 3. McLaughlin up front. Other Penske of power right behind him. Christian Lundgaard hasn't won a race since Toronto last year. His maiden victory. Let's see if anything can change here. Green flag flown by Aaron Likens. Scott McLaughlin weaves, trying to get some heat back into those Firehawk tires, as a couple of early dives. Nothing quite yet here, as we are all still single file. Couple moves further back. That's the number 5 of Award trying to make a move. on the outside of Linus Lundqvist. He gets around. Double overtake on the outside there. Into the hairpin. Couple of looks on the inside. Grosjean wants a move on Newgarden, and that won't happen. One of the Shank cars on the inside of Canapino gets that move done, though.
Yeah, absolutely. What a move. A double overtake, and you can tell how delayed I am because I've just gone over the start line for the green flag. So that's how delayed I am.
You're going to get this right now as Stingray Rob's trying to get a move on the outside of Linus Lundqvist, gets that move done. We have a penalty for Pato O'Ward, who looks like he's already kind of gone into the pit lane to serve that. Yep, he's back on track here in 26th. I think he went in just as the green was taken there. I could be wrong.
So yeah, absolutely. I've just got to cover comms to touring cars because we've lost JB.
All good, all good. O'Ward's going to dive into the pits now to serve this penalty. So VK got lucky. O'Ward not quite so. Already some moves between the two Ganassi cars here. Marcus Armstrong tries to make something happen alongside Alex Palou. Armstrong in the new Root Insurance colors. Palou looking to the inside here. Big on the brake. Into the hairpin. He'll get that move done. Maybe not. Armstrong wants to try a switchback. Not going to happen. Palou will take fourth. Rosenquist also now holding those two off. Further back, Grosjean on the charge up from 10th. He's right on the gearbox of Joseph Newgarden. McLaughlin still leads. That is a 1.5 second lead almost now after Lundgaard. Palou now on the inside of Rosenquist. Oh, yeah. As he works his way up. So Rosenquist down into 5th now. He's kind of the meat in this Ganassi sandwich. It's 4th, 5th, and 6th. As Armstrong falls back now, Graham Rahal works his way up into 6th. And Armstrong dropping back big time now, back into 8th. I'm trying to see what the actual reasoning behind that is Rosenquist is really wrestling this wheel. And I'm not sure if this is reminiscent of the brake issues we saw earlier. Obviously, we know there's some loose grip here on the track with not only a low ambient temperature, but we saw everybody weaving on the restarts here. Battle on track here. Looks like Scott Dixon and Pato O'Ward, who's now a lap down. Pato trying to stay as much on that lead lap as possible. Excuse me, that's actually just on the back half of the top 10. That's Rahal ahead of Dixon and Armstrong trying to make that happen. So Marcus Armstrong, who had a fantastic opening stint of laps here, has fallen back now into 8th. Graham Rahal up into 6th now.
Hello.
Hello.
We have completely
this
lost.
Is hard.
Yes, it is hard, isn't it? As we are single file for most of the field. Going up round the circuit on lap 13 of 90.
Looks like we're going to get a replay here. This is Kevin Simpson and Jack Harvey, who they had an incident again. It looks like almost the same place as the Ferrucci Herta incident here. Jack Harvey goes wide, manages to run Simpson off the track. Going back to this huge Dukes of Hazzard moment in practice too, right after that first corner. I am amazed that after literally burying that nose into the ground, he still manages to keep that car going, and most importantly, the front wing of that car is in one piece. Gap being close here. Christian Lundgaard getting closer and closer to Will Power for 12th. As it looks like we're starting to get into a groove here. Not too much things out, although Rahal starts to get closer and closer to Felix Rosenquist. Rahal really wants a top 5. Has seen success at this track. Was robbed of a victory in 2016 by Simon Pagenaud. Has still been consistently quick here. Palou, meanwhile, starting to build a gap. Has worked his way up from 10th to 4th. Christian Rasmussen just set a best lap. The rookie just now Gets his way around Marcus Ericsson. He's in 11th trying to make something happen. Scott Dixon, meanwhile, with Graham Rahal getting closer and closer now, as we might see a move from the 57-time winner. Now just 10 wins away from the all-time victory record, that being, of course, by AJ Foyt.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had a replay just a couple of minutes ago about what happened to Kiffin Simpson in yesterday, and
Yesterday's practice, right?
yeah, and it was quite an airborne accident, not as airborne as the Legends crash that we had here at Donington Park today. I don't know if you saw it, Jackson. I might have to send it to you after this broadcast. But it's
I heard about it.
nice.
Looking back at that Simpson crash, what surprises me the most is that front wing managed to stay in one piece after it got like lawn darted, just straight up buried into the grass there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Regional network's gonna step away here, so I'm gonna be blind for a little bit.
No worries. I will try my best on delayed, one lap
We're
delayed
making it happen here,
TV
folks.
images. This is definitely not what we wanted to happen, and I have just realised that, Jackson, guess what else is meant to be live right now on Joshua's PC, but it can't because Touring Cars is on there because Touring Cars has been delayed so much.
What's going on right now?
NASCAR. So if
No, you USRN guys have that. We're good.
yeah, but we stream it on JBM.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So if anyone is waiting for NASCAR, that will immediately follow the conclusion of British Touring Car Race 3, as we are side by side. Linus Lundqvist, who we just talked about, trying to get past, I believe that was Santino Ferrucci.
If it was one of the Foyt cars, I'm gonna say that was the 41 of Rob. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, just having a look at Lundqvist is in between the two AJ Foyt cars, and we are on board with Joseph Newgarden, making sure he doesn't use push to pass when he's not meant to, as he goes through turn 1 up the hill.
I feel like on Joseph's behalf and on IndyCar's behalf, we just gotta get all of those out as quick as possible.
Yeah,
get the push to pass jokes out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jackson, it's a big talking point. Big talking point. It happened a month after the race, and I definitely think, and I know a lot of other people thought, that Penske handled that really well, press-wise.
All things considered, and it's an interesting scenario, right? If you're an MLB or baseball fan, Rob Manfred, the commissioner, does not own a baseball team, right? We're in a very interesting scenario here where we've got the owner of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the series it runs at, who's also running a team. And you've got your guys with the tinfoil hats saying, maybe some results were rigged. But I think all things considered, it was a fantastic. I think they handled it fantastically. I think Joseph Newgarden handled it with a ton of humbleness and grace, and shouldered it brilliantly. And he admitted that was something that ate him up inside. People were wondering why he was the one guy out from Penske that hadn't spoken up about it. He was waiting, and it was bottling him up inside. He was struggling.
That's Scott Dixon in the gravel. Sorry to interrupt, but Scott.
Oh no, you're good.
Dixon is in the gravel, and on the grass he's able to keep it going, but that has dropped him down, and I believe that was at turn 5 and turn 6 at that last time around as well.
What's amazing is, even with all of this happening, I know as a God-given fact I can't count Scott Dixon out of this race, because there will be another safety car and something will happen. Let's watch the replay here. Dixon finally catches up to Rahal, tries to get a move around the outside. Oh, that's real reminiscent. That is exactly where Pato O'Ward went around. Tried using the outside on the brakes there. Almost like board slides the car, it looks like. And kind of goes tail around.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the only reason we're getting a replay is because it happened under ad break.
Under break for us, yeah.
Yes. that was close in touring cars. And
So Felix Rosenqvist, all things considered, obviously lost the position to Palou.
Yeah.
But is still taking this in stride. He's holding on to this top 5. Again, only 1 yellow so far. Knock on wood 3 times. Thank you. But your former winner here in Graham Rahal really, really wants this top 5. And he's going to try and get it from Felix Rosenqvist. That gap slowly closing. Way back into the field, Stingray Rob going to take an early pit stop. I'm actually a fan of that alternate pit strategy. I'd imagine it would be intentional.
Yeah, absolutely. That could get him quite far. But then again, Rob has had a couple of contact. Not being the quietest race for Stingray Rob. And yes, I did just use the crew word. Cry about it. And you can blame me about anything that happens in the next couple of laps or so regarding cautions. And just like how Paul O'Neill jinxed the Legends barrel roll crash. As half a lap before it happened, he said, "I'm surprised they've been so calm." Half a lap later, one's barrel rolling through the air. As we are on board with our leader, Scott McLaughlin, who's got a 2-second lead. And, Jackson, you will be delighted to hear that in around 5 laps' time, we will have some decent TV pictures.
Okay. And then we don't have to do this weird back and forth thing.
It is. It's a weird day. It's a very weird day.
It is a very weird day. Here's
a look at the main battle screen for everyone watching, with McLaughlin, Power Lundgaard, O'Ward, and Felix Rosenqvist. Your top 5, lap 22 of 80, Jackson.
2-second gap now for McLaughlin, your fastest lap so far. That's Christian Lundgaard. He's done a minute 8.4. That's on the, of course, on the red-walled alternate tires. McLaughlin, second fastest time so far. Rossi, way back here, is at the 4th fastest. He's in 25th now after his trip to pit lane as well. So it looks like we're starting to get into the main pit lane cycles. But going back to this earlier safety car, I'm actually a big fan of what a lot of these guys did with this Fittipaldi incident. It very much reminds me of, when we had the Lundgaard incident here at Long Beach, and really capitalizing on that and, seeing where the race unfolds. It's gambling, but as we saw with Scott Dixon last weekend, it really, really worked his way. I can't hear Josh, so I'm going to assume he's doing BTCC stuff.
Hello.
Never mind. What's good?
It is all good. Just taking that time to put the other headset on and checking in with the other guys. JB, of course, is trackside this weekend, which is why he's not with us now, as we are continuing to circulate. McLaughlin over a 2-second lead now, 2.181 on the timing screen currently. Lundgaard, of course, just behind. Good start from Christian Lundgaard. He's been strong this season.
He's going to be, without a doubt, one of the biggest free agents this upcoming season, and it's going to be interesting to see whether Rahal will be able to keep them there, as we have some contact here. As Ferrucci continues to drive with zero disregard for human life, giving the number 20 of Rasmussen the exact same treatment he gave to Colton Herta. Meanwhile, here's a replay for Will Power. Is this why he went to third? Yes, it is. Locks it up, gets it into the gravel, and manages to keep that car running.
Here is a replay. I'm just getting it. And yeah, there was definitely a bit of contact, and Rasmussen very nearly spun it. And something tells me the delay's gone down. As we are having a look at that. Yeah, Ferrucci, as my phone's, the INDYCAR app has just crashed, and doing the exact same
beautiful.
To Ferrucci as well, the 20th Christopher Rasmussen. And this is what happened to Will Power. Yep, just ran it a little bit wide, didn't he, Jackson?
Yeah, and again, that's been our two hot spots right there. Actually, the only hot spot where it's either guys going wide there and board sliding on the curbing or just going late on the brakes there. Only one position lost for Power. Definitely still in this thing, especially with a safety car. As we've got Lundgaard in the pits here, it's going to be interesting to see where he comes out and what tire he goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. Lundgaard pits from second.
Pits from second now after taking that position back. No cameras on it quite yet. I'll let you know when I get a compound. That'll promote Pelot up into third. Let's see where Lundgaard comes out on this cycle. He's the first of the top three to come into pit lane. Of course, he was one of the only drivers on the red-walled alternate tires, though.
Yeah, as we are on board
I'm going to get your answer
power.
here before you do. Here we go. So McLaughlin, Power, Pelot, your top three. Now Felix Rosenquist back up into fourth. Ray Hall into fifth. And we're going back to we're going back to alternates, it looks like. That's going to be a fresh pair of the red-walled alternates.
Timing and scoring can confirm, Jackson.
There we go. So again, this field is still 100% really, really bunched up. Lundgaard back up into 14th now, as he's going to try and get heat into those tires. That's Rinus VK right in front of him, actually.
Yep, Rinus VK in 14th, of course, currently.
And I think we're really going to see the clean air effect. We've already seen it a lot with Scott McLaughlin. We saw it big time at Long Beach, just how effective clean air can help you. As we've got Marcus Ericsson versus Christian Rasmussen here through the chicane downhill, and that is Rasmussen off into the gravel. He's going to take it all the way to the outside, manages to keep that car running, though. But that is more heartbreak for that young rookie who is running so well. Gets the hip check
and
from
goes
the
straight
sneaky
into the
sweet
pit lane
Marcus
as well.
Ericsson and ran wide. Excuse me?
Goes straight into pit road after that as well.
Copy. So more issues for the Dane, Christian Rasmussen here. As, do we give a penalty here to Ericsson? He gets a good run on the exit of the hairpin. Makes contact. I'm looking on the onboard of Ericsson here. It's hard to tell from what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it just goes, and Rasmussen goes right on the outside onto the grass so he gets more traction.
I'll tell you what, Josh, I'm looking at that replay. It almost looks like a turn in on Rasmussen's end. Maybe didn't know he was clear.
Yeah, I think that as well, as
I would say
he
no
continues
harm, no foul
and then
for
pits.
Marcus.
Seeing the replay now, and goes round to the outside and then breaks. There's definitely contact there. And
there is contact. But
yeah.
the question is, of course, who's at fault?
Yeah, and that's what race control will be looking at, of course.
New fastest lap, Will Power gets just over that 108, 108.0, 111 there, and that's on the fairly used at this point primary tires. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm going to say that's big time down to not clean air, but definitely a lighter fuel tank. As Power now comes into the pit lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully I'm on the right mic. Hello.
You are. Josh is just like, what are you talking about? I'm going to take this time, actually, while we're going through the pit lane, to thank Ryan Marine, who I ran into at Long Beach, who was a straight dog. We talked, obviously, during the 24 Hours of Daytona live stream, but got to meet him in person. Had a great conversation about our careers, respectively.
Yeah.
My anticipation of a career and where he's been so far. He's, of course, in Monaco for the Formula E Prix at Monaco. Almost said Grand Prix, but
yeah.
Ryan, there's no way you're watching this, but thank you.
Well, he has been on a JB Motorsports broadcast, of course, before in the Daytona 24 Hours. Yep. And hopefully we may have him back, as I've just seen flash up on my time monitor, Jackson, that the race leader is in, Scott McLaughlin.
McLaughlin in Power to the red-walled alternates. I keep on seeing splashes of water, and for everyone else seeing that, It's not rain. It is the water from one of the pit assistants to make sure that any excess fuel doesn't ignite. As I have to remind myself that. Pelot, your new leader then. Still yet to pit himself, though. And here's what's really interesting to me, Josh. He's on the red walls, and yet he's lasted longer on this set than any of the guys who were on the blacks. And I'm questioning if that was an actual strategic move on their end. And there really is a lot more life in these alternates than we thought. And maybe the guys on the reds just decided to get it over with how this race is filling out. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am just gonna, in a minute, contact JB and hopefully we can get stable TV picks on lap 28 of 90, a third of the race. We love to see it. I will be right back.
Third of the race, and then Pelot leads ahead of Rosenquist. Rahal now in that podium position. All three of those guys still to pit. Your fastest guy to have pitted, actually, Santino Ferrucci, who's ahead of Scott McLaughlin. He is running currently in 8th. And we are still waiting for everybody up here to pit. Still, I believe Pelot, though, has taken a dash into the pit lane. Could be wrong. So right now, it is Rosenquist, Rahal, Armstrong, Newgarden, Grosjean in 6th, Kirkwood 7th. Ferrucci, your provisional leader, I would imagine, after this pit cycle for your leaders. As we've got battles on track here, it's VK versus Lundgaard. Lundgaard to the inside, backs out of it, thinks smarter of it. Big lead now, as that is not the most ideal place to make that happen. Back to the start-finish straight we go here. This is the battle on track for 11th. Both of these guys have pitted at this rate. VK, of course, your biggest mover, working his way up 16 positions. Had that penalty early on, but made the best of it, as we now see Pelot coming to pit lane. Other big movers, Alex Pelot started 10th. He leads now as he's coming into pit lane. Ferrucci, who will... Let's see where he is after this. This is going to be interesting. Because I'm not sure. Yes, he's in the front of the guys who's pitted, but I'm not sure if that gap will be big enough. So that will give the lead then to Felix Rosenquist. First time leading since Long Beach, if you want to call that a lead. Of course, had the pole position. Great run, by the way, for these Meyer Shank Racing guys, excuse me. First time in a while to have both cars make the transfer over to the top 12 in qualifying. Third top 5 qualifying results in a row. Really strong Saturday performance here for this Ohio-based team. Pelot in the pits. He's joined by Armstrong. Let's see what tire he's on here. Looks like everyone's going to the reds here. Interesting. Scott Dixon also in. He's going to be, of course he is, in a pit lane where everyone's going to the reds. He's staying with the primary black-walled tires here, as we've got everybody into the pit lanes. Let's see where Ferrucci ends up now. Bit of a dash here as we're trying to make something happen. Not on your picture yet, but it'll be Ferrucci leading ahead of McLaughlin. VK has now worked his way up into third with 2 pit stops. Are you kidding me? Christian Lundgaard, fastest of that initial pack here. As we've got everybody here into pit lane now. Ericsson, Newgarden. Graham Rahal goes to the primaries.
We have been saved.
Woo!
Hello everyone. We can actually get this on the road now, even though the driver tracker has frozen, which is always good stuff. And Jackson, hello. We can actually chill out now.
Hi, new leader, Santino Ferrucci.
Yeah, absolutely. Controlling 2 streams at once It's so hard that I ended the stream on stream starting soon screen, not stream ending soon screen. Good stuff. As
Hey, nobody's perfect.
I've just got to make sure that that is done. Yep, we are all good. Okay, Ferrucci in the lead by 0.9 seconds.
We're gonna see how long that holds because again, he was one of the guys to pit during that 30 car incident. That first.
Oh, New Garden's off the road. So Joseph.
I'm looking right now. He's currently defending here from, I believe, Marcus Armstrong.
Yeah.
That's back in 15th and 16th.
Yeah. So hopefully
Armstrong's gonna take a look on the inside. They make contact, and Newgarden gets moved off. I'm curious to see if that was a cut tire because the rear wing kind of dug in there.
Yeah.
He's already past the pit entrance though by the time that that incident happens.
Yeah, just seeing Newgarden getting overtaken on the inside by a car. I believe that was the 27 of Carl Kirkwood. And biggest movers, plus 24, Venus VK, plus 17, Porsche, plus 16 for Ferrucci.
VK, who literally started this race from butt last, has now found himself into the podium position after not only being a part of that first incident, serving a penalty because of it.
Patro Ward has pitted down pit road as well.
Yeah, and Ward is easily the guy that suffered the most as a result of this. Again, VK had that penalty, but he was able to serve it during the safety car.
Yeah, and what is his stop? It's a 6.6, so a quick stop there on lap 34 of 90. As Alex Plo, we see there, and this is a replay of the 11 and a little bit of contact for Joseph Newgarden, which sent Joseph Newgarden off the road as well. Hopefully we're on the same TV picks now, Jackson.
Let me check Discord. Yeah! Awesome. Okay. I don't know if I can get sound from it. No.
As we are on. Who is it? Is it Tom Gamer? It is Tom Gamer. Currently on. We can go down pit road now. It's been so chaotic. I haven't been able to set up track noise, so apologies for that. As Venus,
you're good.
Venus VK comes into pit road as well. Teo Porsche follows him behind, so the two biggest movers of this race pit, and they fall down the order, but they should be able to get back up once the pit cycle is complete as well. As Santino Ferrucci still leads by 1.6 seconds now. The gap is increasing for Scott McLaughlin.
Yeah, so we knew VK was going to be a mulligan because of both the incident and everything else here, as we now see Ferrucci into the pits, and I was going to say he's also kind of in that camp because early pit, he was going to need this second stop. McLaughlin was talking earlier about how this was looking like it was going to be a 3-stop race, and I think that is turning out to be true, although the way we have this early caution, Josh, I think we could see a 4-stopper. Eyes on Joseph Newgarden, then, who is currently running in 16th. It is going to be
Ferrucci
so far
pits
a weekend.
As well. And
yeah.
Getting another replay. If it's all right, can I hand over to you for a couple of minutes?
Oh, 100%.
Awesome.
JT, I'm going to imagine, is going to use the toilet or just, have a decompress after whatever the heck's going on. So with these two mulligan pit guys out of the way, it is McLaughlin back in the lead. Lundgaard second, Power third. Linus Lundqvist, though, up into fourth alongside Kip Simpson. The two Ganassi rookies are getting it out early. Alex Palou, another big mover here, up into sixth. Giotto running top 10 in his first IndyCar race. Another big mover is Alexander Rossi. He's in eighth. Felix Rosenqvist has held on to that top 10, but definitely moved back, was running fourth, now in ninth. He's right ahead of Marcus Armstrong. Let's look back on track now. Here's the 27 of Kyle Kirkwood, who has been hoping to have a better start to his season. Obviously has had pace here, but definitely doesn't want incidents like this, as we've had yet another little tussle in the hairpin here. Kirkwood tries to do a move late onto Roman Grosjean in that Juncos Hollinger machine, runs him out to the curbing, not as far and not as early into there, but definitely probably not some great emotions from Roman Grosjean, as I've yet to see a civil interaction into that corner. But again, that's Barber for you. You have this downhill troublesome braking zone and such a wide exit where you can kind of get your power on wherever, pick a line, any line. Another big thing about this course, clean air is just such a benefit, as we've got Scott McLaughlin with a 7.2 second lead over Christian Lundgaard and Will Power. Linus Lundqvist, rookie for Chip Ganassi Racing, in 4th. As we've got a big spread out here. 4-way battle between Rasmussen, Canapino, and Felix Rosenqvist. Rosenqvist tries to make something happen. Excuse me, that's Roman Grosjean, who finds a way around. So I'm trying to see. Oh, this is way back there. This is Canapino. Penny battle here, way back. Canapino ahead of Tom Blomqvist. Then it's Christian Rasmussen. I believe Jack Harvey.
Hello.
As there was 2 guys. There was a double stack up there in the hairpin. Everyone gets out in one piece, though.
Okay, so on board with Scott McLaughlin now currently. Going up through this chicane.
Lead.
Yeah, 7-second lead. Big gap, and pitted 10 laps ago as well. Did the number 3 of Scott McLaughlin. And look at who is in 5th place. Giotto.
Yes, but again, look at the last lap
Yep.
headed.
Yep. Which was under the caution, of course, and we've called it perfectly, as on the timing screen. Luca Giotto has entered the pit lane, so he has come down to pit this time around, about to start lap 40 of 90 next time we go around, currently on lap 39 of 90. And
so again, obviously different pit strategy here, but I still would not count anyone who's pitted under the safety car out quite yet, especially seeing the tired choices that a lot of these guys have made. I like Grosjean the most here. He can really stretch it out on those alternates, as Giotto is going to cycle potentially outside of the top 20 here.
Yeah, and McLaughlin still got that 7.1 second lead. Power, Lundgaard second, Power is third, Palou fourth, Rossi is fifth. Rosenqvist, Armstrong, Ferrucci, Rahal, and Carl Kirkwood rounds out the top 10. We're all pretty spread out now on track, but that is what happens when you're in the middle / get into the start of pit cycles. As there's Lundgaard just going through turns 1 and 2 now.
Yeah, 100%. And if this plays out anyway, like Long Beach did, we're going to see the kind of merging of these different strategies, hopefully towards the end here, where even without yellows or any kind of artificial bringing of the field together, we still get, these two strategies kind of working out in different and interesting ways.
Yeah, absolutely. As push to pass remaining, McLaughlin 180, Lundgaard 115, Power 114, the top 3. Palou 131, as there's a dead bug just appeared on Lundgaard's visor screen as that rotates.
You can see there, though, it's got
is
the rotating exterior, which is the super cool thing. I wish Formula One had, I want to say they tried it for a while, having these same kind of 360 cameras. But I love those on these cars so much. So cool.
Yep, and a top 5 of lap 41 of 90 as NBC go for a break. It's Scott McLaughlin, Christian Lundgaard, Will Power, Alex Palou, and Alexander Rossi as well. Scott McLaughlin has pitted recently, one time for everyone first down to 7th. Santino
Mhm.
Ferrucci, the first person to have pit twice. Venus VK, the first driver to have pitted 3 times. When do you expect McLaughlin to go down pit lane next?
Hard to say because, again, we saw these guys with the Blackwalled primaries really come into pits early, and at first I thought, okay, that's end of life for tires or fuel. But we saw how long Pelot can stretch these tires out. So it's really hard for me to say right now. I think it's really a strategist's call, even with these, hypothetically softer and more limited alternate compounds. I really think it's going to be a big decision. I think it could be as early here as 50, and we could really see these guys hypothetically, I think, stretch this out to 60.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be another 18 laps on fuel and tyre, which is possible if we get a certain flag, which I'm not going to say because I don't want to jinx anything.
Not good.
With McLaughlin increasing the lead. Never mind, it's just gone down by a couple of tenths from 7.1 seconds to 6.9 seconds for Scott McLaughlin, and then around another 4-second lead, back 3.2 second lead gap correction from Lundgaard to Power, and it's getting to this point in the race where it's never mind. There's someone going off wide.
It's Giotto.
And it's Luca Giotto, and I was literally just about to say, it's getting to this moment in the race where it's getting a little bit, well, I wasn't going to say the Q word, but it's getting in a little bit of the low moment of the race, and then Giotto does that. And then McLaughlin going round Spider's Web, of course, on the outside of that corner.
I think that's what's so awesome about this track is it's we talk so much about the places we see Giotto just running wide here. That might be suspension damage, actually, Josh.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes down to a pit this time round. Stingray Rob and Alexander Rossi went into pit lane the last time round. Alexander Rossi has exited. Stingray Rob has not exited yet, so he is still going down on pit lane speed. And we'll wait for that.
I really want to say,
message.
I want to talk about Stingray Rob for a second because I feel like he gets a bad rap of, so far this season, has launched himself into this AJ Foyt team, has been considered as the weakest link. He was almost 10 positions up on Ferrucci as we have a caution out here. And I'm curious as to why. Still nothing on track as to why that might be specifically.
I'm looking, and it's the 7, and that's a wheel off.
No! Oh my gosh.
Rear left wheel was not done up properly, and that will be a hefty penalty. And let's have a look at the replay, Jackson. And he accelerates.
Shades of Graham Rahal at
look at the wobble. And they turned the camera around at the worst possible time because you could see it wobbling. But here's an off-board. Do they catch it? No, they don't.
Well, he's focused in on Porsche.
There. They just caught it. And it's going to bounce off the Armco barrier and back into the gravel. Luckily, it barrel rolled, went over, and over, so it did not go back into the track.
Yep, and I'll do you one better for news. That doesn't look like a super inhabited area, at least close to the fence or the barriers. You can see some guys further up on the hill there, but again, managed to keep it smart and safe for everybody here in Birmingham. And that is just heartbreak for this Arrow McLaren team, who has had, some highs after, Pato O'Ward walks away today, regardless, with a trophy from St. Petersburg. But going back to Long Beach, the two teammates collide. David Malukas has been obviously having issues. He's expected to come back as early as the Indianapolis Grand Prix, although even Dave himself said that's a big maybe. And it's looked like the real shining star for this crew so far has been Alexander Rossi, who's come into this team, who's raised this 7 car, which, mind you, was a lot of new guys coming from McLaren's Formula One side or from their other programs, and training them to be IndyCar ready last year in 23. And he's consistently been one of the fastest guys, at least in this young season. Was the only guy to make the feature race at Thermal, was one of the fastest guys for qualifying at St. Pete, was also one of the fastest guys today, yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And go on.
Just want to wrap up here, coming outside of a top 10, out of what could be a top 10 finish here. It's just the bad luck bug again for Alexander Rossi. And we're going to have to see what Award, with also yet another incident on his end, and what Theo Porcher being thrown. If Long Beach was the deep end, this is the super deep end. I would argue that this track is harder than Long Beach.
Yeah,
for both of these guys, but
yeah. And I don't know if you've been keeping along with the NASCAR side, Jackson, but
negative.
Kevin Harvick will be getting behind the wheel of a NASCAR this year.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, Cup or Xfinity?
Cup.
Where?
Kevin Harvick will drive the number 5 car in place of Kyle Larson at the All-Star practice and qualifying due to Indianapolis 500 practice.
You said 5 car at Charlotte, and I was going to say, if you are doing this in place of doing the double, I was going to be manic. But
no, it's in place of the All-Star
race. Yes.
But he's still doing the main race. He can't do practice and qualifying because of Indianapolis.
Right.
Practice. But yeah, that's from Bob Potcrass.
Thank you, Bob. And 1, that's awesome for Kevin. 2, this whole month's going to be awesome for Kyle Larson, and I think for both IndyCar and NASCAR fans as a whole here as we get to the month of May. We've only seen the double attempted so many times, only successfully done, of course, by Tony Stewart. Last guy to do it, Kurt Busch, who did successfully finish Indy but had a blown motor at Charlotte when he attempted that in 2014. So it's awesome. It's so cool to see Kyle Larson come and give this a shot. I almost said Kyle Kirkwood. But no, you love to see drivers go and, dip their toe in theories that they're not normally used to. It's shades of, I think the biggest moment in the past 10 years in IndyCar history was Alonso in 2017 doing his rookie test.
Getting ready to go down pit road, because I was literally about to say we could have some pit stops, and the leaders are in. So let's go down pit road.
Strategies involved here, and I think we're going to have a pretty interesting straight-up race. This is the sticker set of alternates. These are the faster Firestones available to Scott McLaughlin. Big stint for him. Shell fuel, and he's out. Marty.
Bit of a gift for Christian Lundgaard, who had pitted so much earlier on the last stop than the other teams that he was going to have to come earlier as well. Will Power on pit road as well. That is sticker alternate tires for Will Power. So these guys who were committed to a 3-stop strategy earlier in the race, even with all these cautions, they're staying committed to it right now, Diff.
Yes, and you did see correctly, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we have the 78 of Agustin Canapino stopped, and that got in the way of Tom Blomqvist's pit stop.
Oh, man.
He couldn't light the tyres up, Tom Blomqvist, and what happened here was their contact. Oh, he spun it.
Oh! Manages to keep a hold of it. Shank guy's running out of the way to make sure that doesn't happen. And I think it's the 66 car of Blomqvist that just stalled on his own, Tom. Or Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. But just couldn't get light the tyres up because, well, there was a Indy car next to him of Agustin Canapino. But he's out back on track.
Again, if there's any time you're going to have that, that's the beauty of yellow flag pit stops, right? You're able to still join up with the back of the field, and you're not really losing on-track positions.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are still under caution. Lap 47 of
Yep.
90, halfway through, and
Halfway, below your new leader,
Below.
behind Rosenquist, who's managed to hang up front. Marcus Armstrong. Then Ferrucci finds his way back up to the sharp end in 4th. Rahal, who's had a quiet race, but has consistently been up front all week. VK has also definitely a guy of note. Again, started last. There he is in 10th. Romain Grosjean, the number 77 car, he's in 7th.
yep, and well, the 7-second lead of Scott McLaughlin has disappeared. All of the lead has disappeared for everyone, and this should be an interesting restart. Let's see if Alex Palou can pull away, and some cars have had some free pit stops under caution as well here at Barber Motorsports Park.
Again, this is the beauty of IndyCar. You've got, I think in my head here, I'm trying to remember 3-4 different strategies being played out in total here.
It's a lot of different strategies.
So, in the words of Lee Diffie, for winners, our guess is as good as yours, folks. Pick a winner. Pick anyone. It could be a winner.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get a Grid Network pick a winner for IndyCar or NASCAR because I was too busy on. When I did my first picks, I put it as a to be confirmed, but then because of everything that's been going on in the world of JB Motorsports today, that just got put on the side burner, and I wasn't able to
Dude, I was
get
trying
around
to
it.
get you guys on this IndyCar fantasy stuff. I have a league, and no one was wanting to do it. But it works the exact same as.
Can you
F1 fantasy.
still join mid-season?
You can. You'll be back on,
Awesome.
on a couple points, but
Yeah, it's fine.
we'll throw the link in for the people.
As we are coming back up to the restart and out the final corner, Alex Palou puts the pedal to the floor, and green flag is back in the air for the Children's of Alabama Indy GP, and a good restart from Alex Palou. Rosenquist, good restart as well as we go through the first couple of corners around the outside. Herta on Dixon as we go up towards the hill towards turn 5 and 6.
Look at VK. He's going to try to make that move happen back on Dixon. Great defense there. He'll go late on the brakes. Couple more shuffles. McLaughlin and Power, the two Penske guys, try to make something happen. They'll be
that was close.
colliding here on the exit here. Again, you can go so wide on the exit there. Meanwhile, Newgarden and VK, as Newgarden uses all of that curbing towards the beginning of this third sector. Already a ton of chaos on this opening lap.
Yeah, absolutely. We're about to hit lap 50 of 90, so the next milestone in there. And it is not over, because here we go. VK defending like a lion from Newgarden, and VK gets to position as well.
I was talking a lot about potentially Team Penske opening their doors to a fourth car or potentially replacing one of their older guys in the next coming years. And Rinus VK in Team Penske colors just makes sense in my brain. And I think he's doing a career drive right now as the meat wagon of Scott McLaughlin gets ahead of Will Power. The Aussie and the Kiwi going at it. Big wiggle there as he's wrestling it on the outside through the marbles.
And he got wide at turn 1 as well, which may have cost him there, as we have a move. Colton Herta down the inside of Scott Dixon. Scott Dixon gets his switch back down alongside a little bit of a slide there, and Newgarden gets through as well on Ericsson. Other way around.
Ericsson, and now Lundqvist's going to try to get around Ericsson as well. Pick a car, any car, folks. They're fighting right now. Back to this replay, though. Colton Herta versus Scott Dixon into the hairpin. He's going to try the outside. Ooh, switchback, baby. Nice and smooth. And again, just barely is able to get ahead of there. Dixon tried to chop the nose there and get on the button, but nothing.
Absolutely.
Totally happening there.
Colton. Oh, Power got hit from behind and got a massive slide.
That was Lundgaard.
And here we
Meanwhile,
go.
oh my gosh, battles continue. Is this Scott McLaughlin on the inside of Porsche? You bet. Oh my gosh. What a restart so far.
Yep, all single file for now. But here is a replay, and we will just see a front wing pop on the front right, will we? No, this is from Lundgaard, and there was the contact there on
Was smart
power.
about it. Tried to back out, just didn't fully get it done in time. Lucky there was not a slashed rear tire there. Could have been a lot worse there for Will Power and for Christian Lundgaard.
Yeah, absolutely. As we cut back to live pictures, and this is VK making moves on Roman Grosjean, and that was an incredible move.
Driving the wheels off of that 21 Ed Carpenter racing machine. Oh my goodness. Resume drive for this guy so far today. From last to 7th. And still with, what, 40 laps and change to go as what is going on here?
What?
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 Okay. No, I'm going to pump the brakes here because I'm scared that's someone who maybe came down for the bridge or if that's a statue. Folks, we've got what looks like a person here on the back straight after the... Oh my gosh.
I'm guessing it looks like a blow up.
It's got to be a blow up, right? I mean...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh no, is that a real person? Oh! As a chunk got taken out of it by, I want to say, Scott McLaughlin. As that might be a drive-through penalty for Scott McLaughlin for unauthorized contact. I mean, that's got to be a yellow or something unless you can get a marshal over. Oh my gosh. It appears that some folks came from the cup race at Talladega. Josh, have you ever?
No, and I'm dying as power up the inside.
Someone is about to get kicked out of Barber Motorsports Park. At first I thought that was a doll, and no, that's just a straight up mannequin. As I think we're gonna get another angle here. Sticks the landing, loses the skirt in the process though. I'm trying to see what car happens in process here. As the engineer for the 41 has a laugh over that. I think they're almost refusing to throw a caution out of spite because one, that's also, you got to be going out of your way to hit that thing, even though that's so close to the track. It's so far out of the racing line. Meanwhile, McLaughlin tries to get a move here on O'Ward.
One of the cars definitely did hit it, and I can confirm it was KO. Oh
my gosh.
I think I have recovered from absolutely losing it on air.
I think it was Ferrucci.
I think we can return up to the main camera once more. That was wild. As Ferrucci goes into the web section of the circuit with the hairpin and up towards the scene. Are we...
The crime scene, right?
Absolutely.
On the nose of McLaughlin here, trying to make something happen here around O'Ward. In an interesting scenario here. Same position where he started. Has kind of moved back and forth here after his little excursion towards the opening stages of this race. Communications from Mike Hull, I believe. I'm not sure.
He moved forward a little bit more and is still...
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have a solid answer there.
Yeah, I think as we've got a move here.
Wants to move through the hairpin, backs out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was one of the bogey notifications that we get, because they do happen quite a lot in INDYCAR. As we complete another lap, and on the grass there, that was the 20 of Rasmussen, and we have a caution thrown on circuit.
If it's not for what I think it is, it's gotta be for the doll.
Oh no, it's Stingray Rob in the wall.
Stingray Rob gets distracted with on-track objects and ends nose first into the wall. I'm not sure where that is, Josh, but that is gonna be our third full course caution. Yes. Third full
Jackson,
course caution for the Prix.com.
that was incredible. Well done.
Chevy and brutal.
And that is up at the that is opposite the bridge, if I'm not mistaken.
We're gonna need a double check there.
Jackson, I am looking at the driver tracker, and it is on the opposite side of the track to the mannequin.
It's turn one. It's turn one.
Yeah.
So no.
It's you've got the bridge where it's going that way, but then you've got turn one which goes the other way.
Yeah, I don't think that's close enough. I
Nah,
don't think that's close
but
enough for you to call him.
but we can't blame it on the mannequin.
We totally can.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we were debatably gonna throw a caution anyway. This is just kind of part of the progress.
They're going to no. Keep it, please.
Yeah, they're AMR safety team is gonna pick up the damsel in distress here on the backstretch. And this will soon be placed, of course, in the Barber Motorsports Museum as a relic of this race. Oh my gosh. And a brutal way.
Jackson take over.
Sunday for Stingray Rob.
My days. Wow. Well, welcome to Barber Motorsports Park, everyone. This is what happens in America.
It seemed like Stingray Rob was pointing over to the bridge like, do you guys see that? Oh, Twitter's gonna have a field day with this one.
Oh, absolutely. This is the new Get Lance Strolled.
Exactly. Yes.
That is how much this is gonna blow up, I think, and that is a very smoky, as we've got the timing screens.
I don't think that's the
lighting up
brake
in red, which means everyone is coming down pit road. So hopefully we'll be able to go down to the pit road reporters now. Hopefully. It is Tom Gaymore, so let's go down to Tom Gaymore for the pit road.
Here, and Alex Palou leads the field in.
Pit stops coming under caution at Barber Motorsports Park, and this is a little bit early for those like Alex Palou and Marcus Armstrong trying to come down pit lane right now and be able to get home the rest of the way. Armstrong, Palou back out. Marty, they're going to need some help to get home.
Yeah, Felix Rosenquist second on that two-stop strategy drag race off pit road with a couple of other cars. So to your point, Kevin, they need caution to be able to make this to the end of the race. There's 34 laps to go. By the math hints, you can do 30 laps here on a tank of fuel at Barber Motorsports Park. So are they banking on a caution here?
Yes, I think the short answer.
Okay.
Was that everybody? That wasn't everybody into the pits. Who stayed out?
I want to say Ferrucci. Do want to say Ferrucci.
So it might be Ferrucci. Hypothetically here, it's, as we heard, 30 laps on one tank here. So everyone's going to have to pit one more time.
Yeah, unless if we get another caution, of course, which could just be a splash and dash or maybe some new set of rubber, depending on how it is. And let me just have a, give me a couple of minutes and I'll be able to tell you who did not pit. So here we are. This is the side-by-side in pit road.
He's looking. Here's a replay of the exit here. Just to the line, and actually, I think that Mike Shankar is going to have to give that position to get ahead of Armstrong there, because they actually won the race out of pit lane. As I'm trying to see, that's the 60, so that is Rosenquist.
And
he, however, is on the outside, gives that position to Armstrong.
By the power of going on to the strategy overview, the never mind, because I've not had it. Wait. Hopefully this doesn't mess up the stream. If it messes up the stream, hopefully it no it won't. Okay, let's have a look at strategy overview and have a look. The drivers who did not pit is everyone down to Blomqvist, because Blomqvist did not pit as well. So the first of the pitters, Alex Palou.
Gotcha, and everyone else here still to pit.
Correct.
But again, everyone hypothetically is going to have to make at least one more stop.
Yes, as we've lost the driver tracker, so let me just get that up before we go back to our main screen, as we're
This
still
is
under
gonna be
full course
interesting.
yellow. And there's a that's a red telephone box, Jackson. So let's go down pit road.
Not on track.
No, on the side. Pit road.
It's the best, but Alex is doing a really good job too. So obviously, definitely a yellow that didn't help us, but we're still in this. We'll see how it goes. Everyone in front of us still has to pit, so we'll see how it goes.
Does he still race for a little while, or does he have to start saving from the drop of the green again?
We're going to need to save between now to make to the end, but another yellow will certainly help us.
Okay, thank you, Barry. Marty.
Let's check in with that. Felix Rosenquist kind of second on this strategy as Felix talking to him on the radio right now. Could you make it if it was just simply a fuel save, or do you need a caution?
No, we'll make it. We'll be good. This is right up Felix's alley right here, so he's the man. This is what we want.
I love your confidence, but with all the cautions today, when you make a move like that, are you kind of thinking, maybe we'll get one?
Oh, you always think that, but like I said, I think we're in a good spot.
How about that, Hinch? You said it would be a massive fuel save for these drivers. Going to be fun to watch this game with all these guys up front wanting to go as hard as they can, knowing they have one more stop, but these two stoppers in the back of the field are trying to save as much fuel as they can and make it to the end.
Yeah, look, I was wrong last week with Scott.
One to go then here at Barber Motorsports Park, getting ready for another restart, as we just mentioned before we went to interviews. Frucci, Lundqvist, McLaughlin, Simpson, Power, Lundgaard, Rasmussen, Harvey, Canapino and Blomqvist have not pitted, so the net race leader is Alex Palou in 11th in the number 10 Chip Ganassi car, as we're getting ready for a restart.
I'll say this again, Josh. Pick a driver. They're in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Any driver, just pick one. And if I had to pick one,
would be insane.
Frucci would be
bring this
insane,
home.
but he's on alternate strategy, so we'll see what happens there with
And,
cautions
and
that.
he's going to be leaning on having another safety car here before the finish.
Absolutely. He has to have
a lot
another
of rookies
caution.
up here: Kippen Simpson, Linus Lundqvist, Tom Blomqvist, of course, also in a great position to make something happen. Let's find out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming towards the start of the restart of the race with single file, going up towards the final couple of corners round the long right-hander, and Ferrucci went, but then there's a big gap between second and third. And
I don't know if they're gonna wave this off.
yeah,
they are.
they've called that off, and I'm not surprised. To be fair, that was some big gaps in the field, Jackson.
You can't call it a game of inches when it's fuel, but this is a game of leaders here, and that jump from Ferrucci just saved some valuable gas for a lot of these guys here who are trying to make it to the end on this tank. So that is huge for everybody who just took a trip to pit lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ferrucci, of course, after jumping, will have less fuel in there, but we have called this off. Top 3 on strategy A, McLaughlin, Power, Lundgaard, 3rd, 5th, 6th. Top 3 on strategy B, Palou, 11th, Rosenquist, 12th, Marcus Armstrong, 13th. So there's your top 3 on each strategies. And your top 5 under caution: Ferrucci, Lundqvist, McLaughlin, Simpson and Will Power, as we should be getting ready to go once more, hopefully for real this time.
I get where you're coming from if you're Santino Ferrucci. You're on limited tanks. You want to get going as quick as possible here. But there's only so much you can do within the rules, obviously.
Yeah.
But when you've got top flight equipment behind you in Linus Lundqvist,
Here we go.
Former race winner in McLaughlin, I mean,
When
you got to get a move on. So let's see what happens here.
Yeah, when will Santino Ferrucci go? They're all bunched up, so we should go green this time. Very bunched up going into the penultimate corner. Ferrucci has gone as he exits the penultimate corner round the last corner, and green flag is in the air this time. It hasn't been called off, and a lot of weaving behind from Simpson and McLaughlin, as McLaughlin is defending from Simpson. Now McLaughlin will go round the outside, and
Look at Rasmussen trying to make something happen here. Around side, Christian Lundgaard, nothing quite there.
Yep.
But could get a good run here into the hairpin.
Rasmussen has had a little bit of a chaotic race, and down the inside, that's Will Power on Simpson, and I think there was a rear wheel tap there as well as someone went wide. That was Harvey overtaking Canapino. Armstrong has overtaken Felix Rosenqvist down for 12th, and a couple of moves further back involving Dixon and O'Ward as Rosenqvist takes back 12th away from Marcus Armstrong on that restart as well, and they're still battling going up the hill.
For the long game, not over yet. They're going to work their way through the chicane here to this final little stretch. We're going to see how they act. I think Armstrong knows this is probably not the best place to overtake, but you've got Felix Rosenqvist, who's also on this strategy that wants to make something happen. Back to the sharp end here. It's McLaughlin, who's really in it to win this thing, ahead of Lundqvist and Ferrucci. Could he get a run here into turn one, Josh?
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to have a look on Linus Lundqvist. Gets on the inside, tighter line through turn two. And a good exit. Gets a little bit wide, so gets a little bit of a snap of oversteer, but keeps it on the road as he goes down towards the hairpin. And the number 8 has gone wide, and McLaughlin tries to gain. He is right alongside.
Gonna be big here. Use the draft, a little bit of the button, which we will not name. Run all the curbing you can here down the hill. Again, this is it's a course of wide corner exits, and how efficiently you're
what's
able
going
to
on
get
here at the
down.
back?
Huge freight train down behind as Colton Herta tries to make a move around. Which McLaren is that? That's Pato O'Ward.
Yep, Pato O'Ward. Scott Dixon involved in a Chip Ganassi as well. Romain Grosjean just in front, and behind
Dixon way back in 18th
is Newgarden and Herta. Alexander Rossi has come down pit road once more, and he has had a whole lot of issues this race. Scott McLaughlin chasing down Lundqvist as Rossi is 17 laps down. No, that can't be right. Let's go down to Stingray Rob.
Steering wheel just kind of came off in my hands in turn one, to be honest. I hit the wall. It's like hitting a marshmallow, so that barrier did a good job of slowing me down a little bit, but it was weird thing. Like, it just went sideways, and I was holding onto the wheel, and the wheel wasn't doing anything. So after I was getting ready to jump out of the car, I could see it was just the wires that were pulling the wheel on. So the hub was still attached, but the steering wheel itself wasn't attached to the hub. So I don't know if that was contact from earlier that would cause that, but I mean, it's been a rough weekend, so I feel bad for the Prix.com Chevy team, and we're going to regroup, come back, and hopefully Indy Road Course is a lot better. I like the team around me, so I have a good faith in them.
Thanks, Stingray. Glad you're okay.
Yeah, that's the
It is
interesting
16 laps.
Yep. Really interesting considering Pietro Fittipaldi had a very similar story yesterday. He turned the wheel and the car decided to just not agree at all. I'm not sure if that's a Barber-specific issue. Two different chassis, two different engine types, excuse me. So I'm curious to see if that's a error consistent at Barber. But not the only time that's happened this weekend.
Yeah, if I had a dime for every single time that happened, I would have 2. Now, 2's not a lot.
Not a lot.
But it's weird it's happened twice.
Weird that it's happened twice, yeah.
As we're on board with Scott McLaughlin in third, 1.6 seconds back, and here's a couple of moves further back involving Scott Dixon.
It's Kirkwood, it's Grosjean, it's VK, and it's Dixon. 4-car freight train here.
Yep, and Fittipaldi has just exited pit road right in front of the leaders, so that will be some lapped traffic as well.
And another one taken there as VK finds his way around Scott Dixon in one of the fastest parts of the course there. Oh my gosh, Renus VK.
Renus VK is on fire this weekend.
Stellar weekend. Last two, well, was running last of first earlier. I'm not sure. I want to say back in 15th or 16th, looking where Rahal and everyone is. He's running 17th right now. And I'm not sure if he also needs to pit hypothetically. But
I can double check.
Yeah, we could be at a checkered flag here where the final position does not determine the result. Same goes for Joseph Newgarden, who's had a silently pretty good race. He works his way around Theo Porcher, gets himself up into 21st.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got 2 rookies in the top 5. We've got Linus Lundqvist and Simpson, both Ganassi, of course, with however many cars they have now. Is it 5?
5, yeah.
5, yeah. And Scott Dixon has pitted, so that is a big change in that battle, as Scott Dixon has entered the pits.
So let's see how the rest of the field here reacts then in relation to that. I'm curious if we see potentially any other takers, especially in these top 5 with Ferrucci, Lundqvist, and Simpson all technically really needing one more. Will Power, however, I think just really needs to get around Kev Simpson, as Dixon is almost a man alone here. What is Mike Hull cooking?
Yeah, so it's just a splash and go there for Scott Dixon. And Fittipaldi is apparently 3 minutes and 39 seconds in pit road.
That might be race done for real then for those guys if they had more. I'm going to say probably electronical issues for them.
Yeah, absolutely. No more mannequins, which is a good sign for now.
Always good. Always good.
Tom Blomqvist has pitted as well. Let's return to the top. Same as Santino Ferrucci.
In the pits.
Ferrucci, that is a big one as well.
First laps leading
pit
in
road.
IndyCar then for Linus Lundqvist.
They'll just fill it full of fuel as much as they need for these final 24 laps, and Ferrucci will run hard for the end. They cannot have a yellow, otherwise this strategy is out the window.
Nailed on the head there, and I think it's going to be the catch for everyone. Not quite, as I've got a couple cars being serviced on it, looks like further back.
Pato Ward, Joseph Newgarden.
Pato Ward. Let's hear from pit lane, see what happens, or maybe not.
Marty.
Dixon a moment ago, who pitted at lap 50. He's going to come in for fuel only. So with the teams that are doing a 3-stop strategy today, Scott McLaughlin, Will Power, and those guys, they're going to run as far as they can. They can go about 12 more laps at least. So Townsend, I want to put on my NASCAR brain. Is that allowed here? So if you're going to pit with 10 or 12 laps to go, could you consider fuel only as maybe a shot to gain a ton of track time and get back out and maybe put yourself in a position to win the race?
You could consider it.
Yeah, absolutely. As, NASCAR at Dover this weekend. And I've seen a couple of clips. Been a fiery one. This weekend at Dover. Not from today, I hope at least. Yesterday I saw that there were some flames as well. I haven't been able to catch up on today's NASCAR because we've got INDYCAR on.
We're here.
Yep, lap 68 of 90. We're over 2/3 completed now of this race and well into the final third of this race. On board with Scott McLaughlin.
Interesting conversation earlier of when pitting, do you go for new tires and give up the track position, or do you just, what is more valuable to you, fresh tires or track position? And I think really fresh tires is going to be the right answer here. If you were telling that to me at Long Beach, I would say absolutely not, but we're on the polar opposites of road courses.
Here comes Kiffin Simpson down pit road.
Yep. Lots of elevation change. I'm curious to see what Kiff
and
does
here's
here.
A move down the inside. Newgarden on Blomqvist. Is there contact? Yes, there is. Blomqvist gets pushed off wide.
Oh, man. Manages to keep it running, but I'm sure that's not going to be any easy feelings there for Blomqvist, who was running fairly smooth here in his first trip to Barber.
Yeah,
Here's the replay then. Good run into the hairpin. Newgarden's going to look to the outside, very similar to the move Power did earlier with the switch back. And just kind of, ping-pongs off him. Wheel to wheel. Again, doesn't go all the way around.
Venus VK is pit, by the way, lower down in the field if you're tracking him. If you're watching, and there's the telephone box that I was talking on the inside, and I believe there's one on the outside of the hairpin as well.
And of course, not being anything that would bring out a yellow.
No, that
was meant to be there.
In the fan area, of course. Joseph Newgarden going into turn 1. Up through turn 2 and turn 3 now. going very
Christian
wide to
Rasmussen.
maximise the apex of
Yep.
the second corner there. Up the hill where we saw the freak
having
accident.
a
Go on, Jackson.
fantastic run, by the way. Christian Rasmussen, Jack Harvey, Augustine Canapino, if they can bring it home, I think all these guys technically need to pit, and they're trying to extend this run as far as possible here without a yellow. But if they can bring it home in these positions, that's going to be a breath of fresh air for all three of those teams.
Yeah, Linus Lundqvist out
First
of
laps
the lead
in
by 1
front here in
second.
IndyCar, but again, he also needs to take a trip to pit lane. It's looking like McLaughlin's to win here, Josh.
Yeah, I believe McLaughlin is the leader on pit stops. Let me just confirm that to you on the strategy. If I can get the strategy page up. Here we are. 23 laps. Yeah. Scott McLaughlin is the lead on 23 laps. And the 10 is the lead on 13 laps. As Linus Lundqvist is in. Linus Lundqvist is in after 33 laps on that tyre. Hopefully we'll be able to go down pit road if they pick him up. We will have to see. But Scott McLaughlin goes round to take the lead. Linus Lundqvist down into pit road. There's the 30 down pit road.
As he could, Linus Lundqvist is helping his Ganassi teammates to keep Scott McLaughlin from really taking off. This is a sticker set of the faster alternates for Linus Lundqvist, who is still trying to get his best result and has a chance to maybe get somewhere between 10th and 15th today.
Yeah, absolutely. Pietro Fittipaldi, I don't know if you saw, is still in his pit box.
Yeah.
So going even more laps down. I think that is day done for
Day good is done for him, yeah.
the 30 there. And this is Newgarden and VK battling it out.
Great battle here. Again, what was I talking about potential future implications for this young man who's also looking for another place to call home as Newgarden looks to get on the button and really spread that gap up into turn one. Here's your replay, though, on the tail end of this lap. VK looking to the inside. Some great defense from Newgarden, though. Big shimmy on the inside there from VK. Keeps it together. And Newgarden gets the switchback done through the chicane. Great bit of driving from both of them there.
Yeah, watch out, everyone. Alexander Rossi has just pitted, so tyres may go flying. So that was a good move there as well. I will just say I am a McLaren fan, so please, no more tyres go fly.
Yes.
As
Great defense so
Newgarden
far from
extended
Joseph Newgarden.
the gap.
Rasmussen up into fourth here. I'm not sure where he is on strategy.
I
Same for the rest of these guys.
check. It would help if I actually got a strategy thing on the battle screen, but we're not that advanced yet. I only thought about it today. Let's have a look.
So Lundqvist rejoins in 14th. We're going to see what he can do, though, with the fresh rubber. And was going back earlier, I would say as a road course, just polar opposites to what we were dealing with at Long Beach, where you need track position as an absolute premium. Sure, you can overtake. It's just incredibly difficult and only a few certain areas. Meanwhile, here at Barber, it seems like you can overtake just about anywhere, can get great runs, nice wide racetrack, some great opportunities for good corner exits. And again, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. Most underrated road course in America, maybe in the world.
Yeah, it's a great circuit. They compare it to Mugello.
I was going to make that comparison, actually.
I personally
100%.
kind of see it, kind of don't see it, and me and Josh were talking about this. Road America, we
Road
would
America's Monza.
say, is a little bit more to Monza and Mugello as well.
Road America is 100% Monza. If we're making this backwards comparison, I'll tell you what. I was thinking about this yesterday. Donington Park, a lot of elevation change, relatively shorter lap. Oh, big jumps off of the curbs there for Grosjean as he tries to defend from Linus Lundqvist. He'll fail at that. Ferrucci will go by with him. And that is a lot of positions lost there.
Christian Rasmussen pits from 4th, so he will drop down the order now on lap 74 of 90. as we go through the chicane on board with Colton Herter.
Guy with some good championship implications early here. Top 10 finish would go a long way in helping him keep that. Although, again, with how far back your current points leader is, Scott Dixon, this is going to be total position spaghetti here, seeing who's going to lead the points now as they run.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we go to main battle screen, get up the points as they run, hopefully, on the... Here we are. And if we go back to the...
Action on track here. Double overtake. Lundgaard on the inside, or excuse me, Lundqvist on the inside of Herta. Up ahead, Kirkwood gets by Rahal.
I'm having a look at it now. It's currently, as it stands, Scott McLaughlin, 53 championship points.
Even after a DNF, technically, like the closest thing you can get to a DNF at St. Pete, he leads the championship. That is wild.
And a 13-point gap as well.
Wow. Some late movements here with just 15 laps to go. As we've got Kirkwood working himself into the top 10. His teammate Herta trying to do the same thing.
Absolutely. As we get an aerial view of the Barber Motorsports Park. And I'm going to be the Briton that I am and say Birmingham.
Did you wake up in a steamy mood?
No.
Do you not know that meme that I'm talking about?
No. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay.
If you send it to me, probably will. As here comes Power into pit road. McLaughlin hits the wall on the inside. Let's go down pit road.
Huge.
Is this the winning stop? Is this the winning strategy, Kevin Lee? Here he comes.
And we're really watching Alex Palou in sixth, about 32 seconds behind. So McLaughlin, just in the last few laps, picked up about 6 or 7 seconds. We think it's 27 to 37 seconds. 30 seconds lost on pit lane. Marty, how's it going to come out?
To go. Which strategy works out? Will Power wanted no changes to the car. Alternate scuff tires going on for Power. Let's see when the blend happens, and can these new tires make the difference?
Scotty Max.
Yeah.
Power looks to hold on to the lead. Palou, though, up into fourth. This isn't over yet, Josh.
It absolutely is not over here at the Barber Motorsports Park. And for the Americans, I am going to say it, Birmingham. As I don't even want to know what that banner says that's going over the top of the circuit now that I saw on the back of the plane. I just saw it at the top of the screen. Don't even want to know what it said. It was too blurry. As we have side by side Linus Lundqvist on Christian Lundgaard, and Linus Lundqvist gets Lundgaard for 6th place and charges on as well. There was definitely some push to pass used there.
Well, I mean, he's the only guy right now of all of these cars on the cold tires, as we can see Lundgaard wrestling with the wheel. But I told you, this is the kind of premium you get with new tires. You can overtake so easily here. And it's going to be interesting to see what he does here with his Chip Ganassi teammate Marcus Armstrong. Here's your replay earlier, though, as he tries to get by Romain Grosjean through the spider hairpin. Is this another check to the outside? Just a bit, as we see Grosjean jump in there off of the floor of the car.
Yeah, that was over the exit curb. And that gave Grosjean that gave Lundqvist the position over Grosjean. Grosjean currently 11th, Lundqvist currently in 6th, and straight up the inside of Armstrong. Here. That was late.
Not out of it yet. Let's see if Armstrong can do the switchback. Not quite there with the switchback on the Power. He's closing that gap to the downhill, though. Great braking, though, from Linus Lundqvist to get that move done. He's got that sealed for now, but I would say he's not out of the woods yet with that Root Insurance Honda right behind him.
Yep, on board with Felix Rosenqvist, looking back on the number 8 of Linus Lundqvist, who just did an absolutely incredible overtake on Armstrong and has pulled such a big gap.
So again, this is the premium that these new tires can get you, and we're going to see if potentially he can get past Felix Rosenqvist here on these much, much fresher Firestone Firehawks. Palou, your provisional leader of the alternate strategy. We're going to see how that plays out, though.
I don't know what the chance of rain is, but there's increase in precipitation. Just as here comes Linus Lundqvist up the inside of Rosenqvist. Another dive bomb maneuver. Incredible.
Get out of here. Some Swede-on-Swede crime here. As he's definitely onto the button. Rosenqvist going to try maybe a move here on the brakes, but no, he's just able to go so deep into the downhill here. Lundqvist has it going on.
And here is a replay of down pit road side by side. I believe this was McLaughlin with Lundgaard on the final pit stop, and that was very close.
Almost chaos there. Wow. No harm, no foul there, but I mean, precious time lost for both of those guys. McLaughlin's still obviously with the lead now. Comfortable 3.5 second lead here. Let's see what Linus Lundqvist can do here with 10 laps to go on the clock. And now it's the other Ganassi's turn. 3 laps, 3 passes for Linus Lundqvist. Are you kidding me? Let's ask it one more time. Can Alex Palou make anything happen?
This is an incredible race from Linus Lundqvist, and the 20 is around.
Rasmussen!
The problems for Christian Rasmussen do not end there, and he is around, I believe, at the Spider hairpin. Yes, it is. What happens? Is there contact?
It's going to be Canapino. Gets his wing into the rear tire. I mean, that's got to be a penalty, I think, for Canapino. Sticking your car where the sun doesn't shine. And you could argue, I'm saying that you could run wider there on the hairpin, but I mean, that's just giving it to Canapino at that rate anyway. So Linus Lundqvist has fought himself tooth and nail into this podium position after leading his first laps in IndyCar. Josh T, he's having a hell of a drive today in Birmingham.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. And here is the 14 of Ferrucci down the inside of Colton Herta. And that is to take 9th place away. But Colton Herta is not done yet.
Remember, these guys have some early history. He'll give it to Ferrucci here in the downhill. Let's see if he can potentially swing back. Ferrucci, I think, on some fresher rubber, though.
And just more spots of rain. Or some type of precipitation. I don't think it's rain. I just think it's water from just in the air and coming off the cars in front. But it is getting more than what it was at the start of this race. I don't know if
we've heard anything of a chance of rain.
I don't think we have. But just keep an eye on it. As Scott McLaughlin, 3.7, now 3.8 second lead on Willpower. Team Penske 1-2. Chip Ganassi 3-4. 6.
Meyer in 5th. How would that be for a result? Obviously, have been struggling to make anything happen here on race day, and this could finally be the round where that changes and get some really, really good points for that pink and white crew.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ferrucci has just got past Kirkwood for 8th.
Kirkwood, yep.
So Ferrucci is making moves. Just last lap made a move on Herta, now made a move on Kirkwood. So he's now going to go chase Lundgaard, who is 3 seconds up the road.
Day after the disqualification announcement happened, IndyCar posted a graphic of how to master the Barber Motorsports Park. The featured driver giving you the tips was Scott McLaughlin. And if you were to fill out the pie chart with words in that comment section, you could imagine push to pass was a fairly big chunk of that.
Yes, and it was also...
You got to remember, yeah.
Quite a lot in this weekend's issues and spins and crashes.
Right, but you got to remember why they put Scott McLaughlin there in the first place. A guy that's consistently shown pace here with Team Penske and who is in the perfect spot to prove everybody wrong after this week, as Christian Lundgaard, not done yet here, tries to make a move. Big slide there on the exit. Wanted to try something on Marcus Armstrong. Gap too long to make that happen for now. He'll close that a smidge here on the downhill.
Yep, and we'll continue to catch Armstrong as we continue to circulate.
So Rossi is now officially out. Blomqvist and Giotto, your last two running. VK, who was looking so good earlier, currently running 19th. But do not count out what happened to the Dutch driver earlier, who was running fantastic in the first half of this race.
Simpson just overtook Canapino for 14th, further back in the midfield. And Rossi is officially out on the timing screen.
Looking on is a new member of Chip Ganassi Racing.
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton's former physicist, psychiatrist, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head.
Ange?
Not totally sure.
Yep.
Has been working with Armstrong since Thermal, both Kiwis, as she's watching her client try and fend off from the Great Dane, Christian Lundgaard.
Yep, good to see Ange there. Trackside, who, as you said, helping out Marcus Armstrong. And on board with Christian Lundgaard with 7 laps to go.
I think we're getting to that point here in these stints where maybe those reds are starting to drop off on grip. So Palou and Lundgaard, who are in the top 10 on these primaries, might have the advantage here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've just heard that stuff happened at Dollington after we went off air. After spoiler alert, after Aidan Moffat won round 3, Josh went to go interview him after the race
Big move
win.
to the inside.
Oh, big move! That was incredible.
Bonsai move to the downhill from Christian Lundgaard to get past Marcus Armstrong. Oh my gosh.
That was an incredible move.
With no regard to human life, Lundgaard lunges himself on the brakes. Meanwhile, further back, here's Ferrucci on another Andretti car.
Yep.
Holds onto the inside super clean. Let's see if Kirkwood tries to fight back here.
Yep, on Kirkwood. And here is VK on Ericsson. And Ericsson gets pushed out wide, and there was contact. Tyre side to tyre side.
These guys have banged wheels so much into this hairpin. Ericsson already very wide in this corner, though.
Yeah, and as we go up towards the hairpin, will Ferrucci do another dive bomb? He's going to look to the inside. Drops back behind, but will he go up to the inside as we exit? No, not enough, as you said. But yeah, Aidan Moffat got jumped on by Jade Edwards mid-interview with JB, apparently, which will be fun to see. Let's see what happens.
Jumped on aggressively, or big shimmy there.
That was Ericsson with Canapino congratulating him of the win.
Gotcha. Okay. Thought there was aggression there.
No.
Never mind.
Jade Edwards isn't a part of British Touring Car this year. Hopefully she'll be able to get round to one round of finance, but she's in the commentary box for F4, I believe, and the studio as well. But we are focusing on this race with 5 laps to go now, and that is Rasmussen who gets spun round.
No!
And will he get collected?
Keep it together, keep it together.
That's going to be a full course caution.
Rasmussen might be able to keep it running. Josh T, I think we're going to get a safety car.
Yeah, yellow caution.
There it is. Oh, mama. This changes everything. And what started out as a solid debut here at Barber for the young Dane Christian Rasmussen has become a nightmare. As some dude is waving the twin yellows. And if you are Scott McLaughlin,
and
that
here's
blood
a
pressure's gotta be
replay.
raising
I
here.
don't. There was no contact. He just spun it all on himself. Just lit up the Riz too much over the crest. And look behind.
Yodo almost lost it behind him.
And that's why he went down to the low side. That was very close, and that was close for Ericsson.
We would call that a code brown for Lucas Kyoto. Yeah, just on the brakes there on the curb again. Kept it out of the wall, kept it out of other corners. But again, still a lot to learn here as he gets that Chevy power plant refired. That guy with the flags is having the time of his life.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully, depending on how it goes, that will be me next year, maybe. Not in INDYCAR, of course.
Yeah.
But hopefully, I reached the age requirement of British Marshalling this year, which means hopefully next year I'll be able to get on the program. Which we'll see. Which will be fun with 4 laps to go. And
Visor
there
up
is Willpower.
for
He's very red. Very, very red.
Imagine hot in the car, and well, I mean that's why he's got the visor up.
I mean, it's just
obviously
just a bit hot.
Yep. Tried to fix that with the introduction of the new visors. We haven't really talked about that too much since
We've talked about the aero screens, but not the visors.
Or excuse me, I meant the aero screen. New aero screen that was debuted at Long Beach. Not a lot of talk at Long Beach for that helping. That being said, was a relatively cool race weekend at Long Beach, high 60s, low 70s. And I just imagine it's mad humid down here. Also, I'd say a much more physically challenging course. High speed corners, leaning on aero a lot more.
Absolutely, completely agree. 1 to go signal from Aaron Likens. We will be going green with 2 laps to go. What could go wrong?
What could go right for a lot of these drivers?
I mean, yeah.
Let's go glass half full here, Josh. Linus
Jackson.
Lundqvist in the cards for his first career win. None of this right now. Felix Rosenqvist. Imagine the jubilee for Meyer Shank Racing for getting their first win outside of the 500. Christian Lundgaard. RLL needs a victory after the nightmare 2023 they had. Toronto was signs of that. Indy GP was signs of that. Victory row for them would be awesome. I think a top 10 for Jack Harvey would be awesome. Again, just trying to work his way back into the series. I'm going to let everybody here talk to Tim Cindric, though. That's not Tim Cindric. Talk to the Penske guy, Marty.
Got through a lot of adversity today, and, you know, we just got to get this thing done. We're just going to be smart here. You know, if we have an opportunity, we'll take it.
And no team orders here, Diff. Every man for himself. Can Team Penske, after the week they've had, pull off a win here at Barber?
Well, points as they...
Interesting, very interesting. Yep. Coming to the green, we are single file. We will be going green with 2 laps to go over the crest of the hill where the incident was. You can see the tyre marks. When will Scott McLaughlin put the pedal to the floor? He is waiting. Apex of the penultimate corner. Will he go now? Yes, he does. And Power has followed him well. Good restart from McLaughlin. Incredible restart from Power to keep with the free car. As that's Linus Lundqvist going to look down the inside there. But it's 2 laps to go. 2 cars in front of Linus Lundqvist. He could do 2 dive bombs and get it done. Could Linus Lundqvist... Here's Pelot. Yeah, absolutely. McLaughlin still keeps the lead. Power still second. Linus Lundqvist still third. Herta gets 8th. off of Marcus Armstrong further behind. They're still side by side further back, those two, as we cut to the front three. McLaughlin second lead already on the first half of this 2-lap restart. Yeah, absolutely. And Scott McLaughlin has a 1.2 second lead. Can he do it? Will there be another dive bomb? We will have to see as we go up towards the hairpin. Linus Lundqvist on track for his first INDYCAR podium, the rookie in the 8 Chip Ganassi car. He is in position, and there is the 6 of the Tio Porcher, another rookie who is stopped, I believe, at the spiderweb hairpin. So that will be covered under local yellows because it is the last lap. But here comes Scott McLaughlin through the penultimate corner and towards the final corner. Scott McLaughlin out the final corner, checkered flag in the air. Scott McLaughlin is your Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix winner, and Willpower second. Linus Lundqvist in third. The rookie gets his first ever INDYCAR podium. Felix Rosenqvist in fourth, Alex Palou fifth. What a race. Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully in around a month's time we'll get the result confirmed to you of this race, and Scott Dixon pulls alongside, and wow, what a race. Yeah, absolutely incredible from Scott McLaughlin. If I had had time to pick a winner, I probably would have picked Scott McLaughlin with Willpower in second. But Linus Lundqvist, he's had an incredible drive. Someone who has also had an incredible drive, but got unlucky with pit strategy, is the guy down in 17th in the 21 car Ed Carpenter race in Venus VK. Incredible moves from him throughout the race. Definitely a driver of the day contender. Yep. And run out of fuel on the cooldown lap, the 51 of Giotto on his first INDYCAR race. He finished in 21st, of course. Yeah, absolutely. And we will get ready to head down to Victory Lane to hear from your race winner, Scott McLaughlin, the double checkers in the air, as we see the replay of him crossing the line and his team celebrating as well with friends and family. And there is Scott McLaughlin in the cockpit celebrating as he went round on his cool-down lap as well. It was a good race overall as Scott McLaughlin gets ready to get out of the car, helmet off, Firestone cap on, and Scott McLaughlin gets out of the car, fist pumps the air, and he is your Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix race winner. Let's go down and hear from your race winner, Scott McLaughlin.
At Barber Motorsports Park, and after the emotional week, a hug for everybody on the crew. Engineer Ben Bretzman.
Was aggressive, moved up, by the way. He is our points leader right now. How about
Boy,
that?
Scott.
Justin Herta leading points over by 1 over Will Power and 3
After the week at Team Penske, was there a point to prove today?
No, look, it's we just got to keep rolling. You know, we know our job, we know what we need to do. I'm just super proud of the execution. The good race of Chevy was so good. A couple of yellows didn't pull our way, but we just showed our pace, and super proud of everyone. And just we just keep rolling, man. Just execution. That's our word, and just get going.
How about this win and where it ranks for you career-wise? Because it's got to be a gratifying one, Scott.
Yeah, that's a good one. You know, it's definitely one of my best drives in terms of just execution and just knocking out the laps, and really happy we could advance to the checkered flag there and bring home a W for Team Penske and for Roger. And sorry, Mum and Dad, I was one race too long, but I know you're watching at home, and yeah, I miss you guys.
Tell me about that restart with your teammate Will Power. You saw the caution come out and your lead of 3.5 seconds a race. How worried were you about that restart?
I knew our pace. I knew we could control it and be. Obviously, you got to make sure that you don't make a mistake with a guy like Will behind you, and he's always going to push hard, but. You know, I knew we had some pace and we could cover him when we needed to, and I was proud of that.
How about this jump in the championship standings? Kyle Moyer said, you're back in it. You gained 20 spots today. You're now 9th.
Let's go. Let's keep going.
There you go. Scotty Mack goes back-to-back here at Barber Motorsports Park, Kevin.
I mean, he said it perfectly. We had nothing to prove there as we are cursed with shirtless Will Power in the pit lane. Let's hear from Kevin Lee.
And forth in the middle of the pack for a little while. What was that racing like?
Yeah, I got him, and then he got a run on me, and I didn't want to you don't want two Penske cars out of the race with everything that's been going on. So I was kind of easy on him into turn 1 there, but yeah, I mean it's hard fought 1-2 for Penske. I mean, yeah, we were certainly fast, but obviously a lot of strategy played into that, and we're able to use our speed to come out in front again. But I made a little mistake. I was kicking myself. I just happened to drop a little. I've been taking the outside line in turn 5, but it's still, we got back to where we needed to be, and I mean, we had Chevy give us a new engine. The boys did a phenomenal job to get that in such short time. Because we had a little issue that, so we'll have to take that other engine back and look at it. But yeah, stoked to have Verizon on the podium again. And man, I'm knocking on the door of a win. It's going to come. Keep pushing for it.
You look pretty good, all things considered, how hot it is today. And I know it's still a work in progress to try to find airflow with the aero screen. And then we saw your helmet vent just basically covered up with grass, so you didn't get any airflow.
Yeah, no, I was opening my visor at times. There's just zero airflow in the car right now. But I'm
yeah,
sure
that's going to be a problem.
Well done. Solid day for Will Power. Very much in play for a championship early in the season, Dylan.
A solid day as well for Linus Lundqvist. Started 19th, finished career best 3rd, biggest mover of the day. So there was so much excitement, a fist pump. You hollered in your helmet when you got out of the car. What are the emotions of finishing 3rd and all you had to do to get there today?
Oh, man. I don't really like the expression, this is like a win for us, but I'm extremely happy with the podium. You know, it's my first in INDYCAR, and, you know, it's been a little bit rough for me the first couple of races and even struggled a little bit this weekend. But, man, what can I say? The team the team did an amazing job. You know, the American Legion Honda today was super, super fast. And, you know, I basically just listened to whatever they told me to do. And, you know, they said that, you know, be patient here and you'll get your reward at the end. And that we definitely did. You know, I think that was the first time ever that I actually got to pass in the car. So I was excited about that.
Well, and that's a great point, because there was a lot you had to do to get this result between fuel saving and pushing and passing cars. There was a lot of listening involved, but how much confidence does that give you going forward, just as a unit, that you can all work together and produce a result like this?
I mean, it's a great confidence boost. You know, just looking back at last weekend with Scott Dixon and the fuel saving that he did, obviously I took a hard dive into the data. I'm not there yet, but I think I learned a bit of a lesson, and I think that kind of paid off at the first, you know, 3/4 of the race, and then kind of set us up for the remainder, where they told me it's basically flat out here from the end, and I was happy to see the other guys having to do a little bit of fuel saving.
First of, I think, many podiums for Linus Lundqvist today. He starts 19th and finishes 3rd, Diff.
This is a great place to have your...
Yeah, absolutely. An incredible race from Linus Lundqvist. Here is the points after race 3 of 17. 101 for Colton Herter. Will Power 1 behind on 100. Then 3 behind Alex Blow. 7 behind Scott Dixon. Then 5th is Rosenqvist. 6th O'Ward. 7th Kirkwood. Lundqvist goes up to 8th. Scott McLaughlin to 9th. Santino Ferrucci in 10th. Let's quickly run through the full classification for you, then we'll get final thoughts and go off air. It's Scott McLaughlin, Will Power, Linus Lundqvist your podium, Felix Rosenqvist, Alex Plow your top 5. Then it's Lundgaard, Ferrucci, Herter, Armstrong and Carl Kirkwood rounds out your top 10. Rahal, Grosjean, Harvey, Kiffin Simpson and Scott Dixon is in 15th, which rounds out your top 15. Then it's Joseph Newgarden, Rinus VK, Marcus Ericsson, Tom Blomqvist and Agustin Canapino rounds out the top 20. Then 21st down is Luca Giotto, Patro Ward, Theo Porcher, Christian Rasmussen, Alexander Rossi out of the race in 25th, Stingray Rob out the race, and Pietro Fittipaldi out of the race as well. Let's go up to the main camp and get final thoughts. It was a very good race. We had our cautions, but we had some incredible racing as well, and we also had some strange activities going on about the a certain bridge on the circuit as well. NBC tweeting, there's a mannequin that hangs from the bridge at Barber Motorsports Park. This year it fell.
So it's consistently been there, is what we're learning.
It's what I think we can interpret from that, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Jackson, final thoughts.
A lot of things I've never seen in IndyCar. And I'm not just talking about the mannequin.
The dive bombs, some of the dive bombs.
So many dive bombs. So many guys just being comfortable close to each other, whether it was through the spider hairpin, whether it was, some kamikaze moves and drivers were really comfortable with one another.
Lot
and I think
more
that
contact.
Goes to show the respect here. A lot more contact, but again, it wasn't disrespectful.
No, it was
or it
rubbing his
wasn't-
racing.
Rubbing his racing, exactly. Linus Lundqvist, have yourself an absolute Saturday. You better be partying hard after this one, because I hope you don't forget this for a while, because I know I won't. Fantastic rookie performance for him. Rinus VK, not the performance you wanted, but huge morale booster for both that 21 crew and that whole Ed Carpenter racing team going into Indy GP. And up front, Team Penske, with all eyes on them, just absolutely dominates, I think is the best word we could describe there. Podium number 100 for Will Power here in Birmingham, and win number 5 for Scott McLaughlin, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. Driver of the day?
How can it not be Linus Lundqvist?
Yeah, Linus Lundqvist is my driver of the day as
3 laps,
well.
3 passes, 1 corner.
Brilliance. That was wild. Anyway, thanks Jackson. I've been Josh T. He's been Jackson Lambros, and this has been the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. We will see you next time out for the Indy Grand Prix around the Indy Road Course. See you then.